So this is, I wore this at New York Comic Con 2024. So this is the Adventurous Astronaut from, it's from the Veefriends collection. So I'm gonna check that out. Veefriends is pretty interesting. Good group of people that I was actually going to meet up at New York Comic Con. So it's like the first time I got to meet all these people that I've met online and hanging out. So the astronaut, obviously, for reasons, because I have a space podcast and it's the other part of my life aside from 3D printing. I was like, I gotta do the friggin' Adventurous Astronaut. So I think this was the first time this had ever been cosplayed too. So basically just took the design from,
Because you modeled that yourself, right?
yeah, completely. This was completely from scratch and using pictures. I didn't even have like a full, like they still didn't have like a full back picture of this. So I
This,
had to
this
like
is a
estimate.
true cosplay.
Yes, yes. So like it's kind of cool. Like the buttons, they don't switch, but they are in the shape of a button. It's got this like cool little like nubs for the backpack, and then I had put a thruster on the bottom, which has fallen off since then, but just simple stuff. And it's actually backpack. So I had built this like stiffener on the inside, like a rib cage basically, because this is that TPU foam that you mentioned,
Yep.
which is really such an amazing durable material. Like I went on a train ride to New York, spent 2 days in New York walking back and forth with this as my backpack, and
It's the
it survived.
VarioShore is very durable.
Yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of a lot of TPU and the flexible materials are very durable.
This changed my whole like world on that. And like after learning what you had mentioned about the TPU, I think next time what I would do is before I even paint it, I would go in and just hit this with a torch,
Yep.
because this was, and this is the worst way to do cosplay, but I wasn't sure if I was going to even make it to New York Comic Con until the very last minute. It was didn't couldn't really afford it, but I just wasn't going to miss that opportunity to meet all those people. And I'm super glad I went, but it also meant that I had to get the cosplay
Last
done
minute costume.
really quickly. So like, and this was, this part was printed in one piece. So, built from this bottom surface, and it was with a material that I was brand new to, and it's so unique because you're actually estimating how much it's going to expand.
hmm
So, what you see in the slicer is like not what it's doing in real life. So you're printing you this is one of those materials you got to read the data sheet for because it actually tells you what to do. But like I started with like a little tiny version of it so I could see how the different features like this overhang, like could I do it without support? And it turned out I could. And so I just like went for it. I did the small one, then I did a little bit bigger. Once I had those settings dialed in and I figured out the foaming, I just like went for it and printed the whole thing. And then I printed this in one piece. And originally I was gonna sew it on the edge
Oh,
here
okay,
because it was
yeah.
like a fabric, but this is just like even at that thickness, which is
It's hard to get through.
maybe like 2 millimeters. Yeah, it just with a needle, it was not gonna happen. Like I could have probably done it with pliers, but like what a pain. So I just used the hot glue gun and it did
Yeah.
exactly what I
You,
needed.
so this would have been a good time for a soldering iron. Poke the holes with the soldering iron.
Great point. Yep.
Because I think this stuff would sew well.
Yep. No, you're right. It was getting the hole done. That was the problem, and I just wasn't gonna deal with it. But that would have been great. See?
Uh,
But that's what happens when you do it last minute. So, but it paints super well. I didn't
yeah.
have to do near as much work to get even that first layer of paint.
hmm
So going forward, I would use this and it's lighter,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
which is a
It's much
huge
lighter.
cosplay add-on. Like doing this project showed me that like this material is like the golden grail, the holy grail of like cosplay materials. Like for the helmet, you could even like have your built-in foam for your head. Like you would even have
Yeah.
to add
Well,
foam, which is just crazy.
and it's like if you knock into something, it doesn't feel like you're gonna break it or hurt yourself or hurt
Right.
someone
It's not gonna
else, you know?
fracture. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so it's that my next thing will be the same material, right?